At 9:18 p.m., Dr. John Hale heard something he will never forget. Not a scream, not an alarm, a whisper, "Dad." It came from behind him, and he didn't turn around, because if he did, he wouldn't choose the stranger. High-speed swing of double trauma doors. Gurneys rush in with nurses and EMTs. Bright surgical lights flare. 2 stretchers. 2 critical cases. 1 operating room, 1 surgeon. The first patient was bleeding out. Massive abdominal rupture. Minutes left. The second was his son, Noah, 17, conscious, barely, blood at his temple. Pupils reactive, voice weak but awake. "Doctor, we have to move." John's mind split into 2 people. The father wanted to grab Noah's hand. The surgeon was calculating blood pressure trends. The stranger would die within minutes without immediate surgery. Noah had severe head trauma, but stable vitals for now. Time-sensitive versus time-critical. Medicine always chooses the one who will die first, but medicine never says what to do when the other one is your child. Noah turned his head slightly. "Dad." Mid-shot. John leans in. A shared shadow crosses them both. "I'm here." Noah swallowed. "It hurts." Gloved fingers hover near the teen's temple. Visible swelling. John nods. Quiet tension. Clinical close-up of swelling at the temple. Measured framing. The surgeon's gaze steady. Animated overlay visualizes rising intracranial pressure above the patient's head. On-screen graph climbs but remains below the red critical threshold, showing escalating risk. Wall-mounted red LED clock in focus. Seconds audible. The time motif is emphasized. Wide comparison. Calm bedside in foreground. Distant chaotic ER activity behind. Ashen patient with pale lips. Monitors show crashing vitals. Urgency on the team's faces. "Doctor, we need your decision." There are moments in life that divide everything into before and after. This was one. John looked at Noah, then at the stranger, then back at Noah. And in that second, Noah understood. Save him. Close up, Dr. Hale stiffens. Disbelief flickers across his face. "What?" "Dad, you always say, you save the worst one first." Noah's face in soft lighting. Pain and trust visible. No anger. Soft focus edges with Noah centered. Intimate, vulnerable framing. Noah swallows. A moment of resolve and quiet trust between them. That trust nearly broke him. "I'll be right back." John steels himself. Decision internalized, though uncertain if true. One last locked gaze with Noah, needing him to believe the promise. John snaps into command, crisp gestures to the team, urgency rising. Prep or patient 1. Stretcher wheels squeal. Overhead lights streak as the stranger arrives. Close shot of scrubbed hands putting on sterile gloves, instruments neatly arranged on the tray. Tight close-up of a suction jar filling, implied blood flow, clinical but non-gratuitous. Wide to medium shot of nurses, techs, and anesthesiologist exchanging crisp calls and passing instruments. Over-the-shoulder close-up of John operating with practiced, precise hand movements. Clamp. Suction. Stabilize. But this time, every second had a shadow. Macro shot of suturing a ruptured vessel. Blood clears as fine motor control guides the needle. Close on a pager clipped to scrubs buzzing insistently. Audible vibration in the sound design. Close-up of the surgeon's steady hand suturing while a pager vibrates off-screen. Pager rattles on a metal tray beside the surgeon as he continues operating. Focused hands. Hand briefly stills. Medium close-up as the surgeon finally glances toward the pager. Tight close-up on the surgeon's eyes. Alarm and conflict after repeated rings. Decisive final stitch completed. The surgeon removes focus from the wound and prepares to run. Vitals stable. Stranger on a stretcher. Shoulders relax minutely, a subtle exhale of relief. Gloves snap off. Close-up reveals the surgeon's hands, steady and focused. Tight face close-up. Hands steady. Eyes flicker with dawning dread. Doctor sprints down the hospital hallway. Motion blur under urgent corridor lighting. The ICU felt quieter than it should. Too controlled. Too calm. Noah was still alive, but not awake. Brain swelling had accelerated. They had intubated. Emergency intervention attempted. Time had slipped. The window had narrowed. Why didn't you call me sooner? We did. 3 times. They rushed Noah into surgery. This time, John wasn't just surgeon. He was father breaking open his own child's skull to relieve pressure. He worked faster than ever before, faster than human. But trauma doesn't negotiate. The damage had spread. Oxygen loss. Irreversible injury. After 42 minutes, the monitor flattened. John didn't stop immediately. He kept going, because surgeons don't quit. Fathers don't either. Until someone gently touched his shoulder. And he knew. The stranger survived. News traveled quickly. Local doctor saves critical patient despite personal loss. People called him heroic, ethical, unbiased. They didn't know about the whisper. They didn't know Noah had been awake, that Noah had looked at him and chosen for him. Weeks later, John sat in Noah's room. Baseball trophies still on the shelf, phone charger still plugged in. He replayed the moment endlessly. If he had chosen Noah first, would the stranger have died? Yes. Would Noah have survived? Maybe. That maybe is a permanent wound. One afternoon there was a knock at the door. It was the stranger, alive, walking. Behind him, a little boy holding his hand. This is the man who saved me. The boy looked up at John with something like awe. John felt nothing heroic, only arithmetic. One father for another, one son for another child's father. There is no equation for that. That night, John opened Noah's old notebook. Macro glide over a handwritten page showing a month's-old date and inked lines. Photoreal close-up of teenage script. Do the right thing, not the easy thing. John gently shuts the worn notebook. A soft cover thud, camera on his hands and face. For the first time, he allowed himself to say it out loud. He told me to save him, not as justification, as truth. The hardest part wasn't losing his son. It was realizing he would make the same choice again. Because if he didn't, he wouldn't be the man who raised Noah. Some decisions don't test your skill. They test your identity. At 9:18 p.m., Dr. John Hale heard his son whisper, "Dad." Surgeon commits and moves toward the OR. Surgical lights blaze, hands steady. The clock reads 9:20. Silent bedside of father and son. Measured breathing. The clock now shows 9:21. That was the moment everything split. And that was his last choice.